boys and girls, we have another week of some really fun stories for you and a brand new essential question. We are still going to be talking about animals this entire week, but we are going to be focusing on what can animals in stories teach us. And we have a story that might be kind of familiar to some of our students, especially if you've had a grown-up read this to you before, maybe even when you were younger. I know this is something that I bring up a lot with my son at home, this story, and it has a really great moral at the end. So we are going to be reading a fable, and a fable is a story that has a lesson that the character and the reader can learn, and it is called The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Okay. Long ago, a shepherd boy sat on a hilltop watching the village sheep. He was not fond of his job. He didn't like it one bit. He would have liked something wonderful to happen, but nothing remarkable ever did. The shepherd boy watched the clouds move softly by to stay busy. He saw horses, dogs, and dragons in the sky. He made up stories with these things as characters.
Then one day, he had a better idea. He took a deep breath and cried out, "Wolf, wolf, the wolf is chasing the sheep." The villagers ran up the hill to help the boy. When they got there, they saw no harmful wolf. The boy laughed. "Shepherd boy, don't cry wolf unless there really is a wolf," said the villagers. They went back down the hill.
That afternoon, the boy again cried out, "Wolf, wolf, the wolf is chasing the sheep." The villagers ran to help the boy again. They saw no wolf. The villagers were angry. "Don't cry wolf when there is no wolf," they said. The shepherd boy just smiled. The villagers went quickly down the hill again.
That afternoon, the boy saw a real wolf. He did not want the wolf to grab any of the sheep. The boy thought the wolf would snatch one of them for a delicious, tasty meal. A sheep would be a big feast for a wolf. He quickly jumped to his feet and cried, "Wolf, wolf!" The villagers thought he was tricking them again, so they did not come. That night, the shepherd boy did not return with their sheep. The villagers found the boy weeping real tears. "There really was a wolf here," he said. "The flock ran away. When I cried out, 'Wolf, wolf,' no one came. Why didn't you come?"
A kind man talked to the boy as they walked slowly back to the village. "In the morning, we'll help you look for the sheep," he said. "You have just learned one of life's important lessons. This is something you need to know. Nobody believes a person who tells lies. It is always better to tell the truth."
Wow, what an important lesson that the boy learned in the story. And you know, even though it was a character in a story who learned this lesson, I'm always reminded of it myself, that it is better to tell the truth. And a lot of times if you tell maybe one lie, sometimes people will fall for it. But if you continue to be someone that's dishonest and you're always lying, eventually those people are going to stop believing you when it really matters.
Yep.
So I think the boy learned a really valuable lesson.
Yep.
All right, we have a worksheet that goes along with this. So let's take a look at what we're going to be doing today.
So now if you ever hear that saying, "Don't cry wolf," that means don't lie, because then no one will believe you when it matters.
Yep. All right, so at the top we have our essential question: what can animals in stories teach us? Now, I love this question because second graders love stories about animals. I know a lot of them are reading them. If they want to choose a different story, any book that they've read about animals, and write down something that you've learned in a story from an animal or about an animal, you can do that here. Or if you want to write down what the boy learned in the story that we read today, you could also write that here. So either one would be fine.
So I could write that the wolves in the story taught me not to lie.
Absolutely.
If
That
I
would
wanted to write that.
that would be a
Okay.
great answer to this
Okay.
question.
Cool.
Yep. And then we have our comprehension strategy, which is the same as last week. It looks familiar. It's to make, confirm, and revise predictions. And remember, this word predictions means something that you think is going to happen. A prediction is when you are thinking about the future and you have an idea of what might happen next. So the question asks, how do you think the villagers felt when they were lied to?
I wouldn't be happy, that's for sure. I bet they weren't
I
either.
wouldn't either. Yeah, and I remember in the story when they were lied to over and over again, eventually they didn't believe the little boy. So I wonder what that feeling was. It's an I think question. What do you think they felt inside of them when they were lied to over and over again? And our students might want to think, how does it feel if you've ever been lied to? What is that feeling like if someone hasn't been truthful with you?
Yeah.
And at the bottom, it says to draw a picture of your favorite part of the story. Do you have a favorite part of the story that we just read?
I think my favorite part of the story was at the end when the older man was telling him, what an important life lesson it is to never lie and always be truthful. So I might draw the man and the boy walking together down a hill or something like that.
Yep. That's actually my favorite part of the
Oh, yeah?
story too. I love the lesson that the boy learned. But if you have a different favorite part of the story, maybe you really like when the boy cried out, "Wolf, wolf." You could draw a picture of the boy and even do a speech bubble where the words "wolf, wolf" are coming out of his mouth with little fluffy sheep in the picture. So it's up to you what you want to draw, but we want you to pick something from the story that you liked and something that you think you could draw at the bottom here. And I think that's it for today's reading activity.